Flight boss, bitch, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Mill. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're gonna talk about planets in the 10th house and what do that shit represent? Because it means so much more than you think it does. You know what I'm saying? And everything do. Now, the 10th house represents the area of your life when we start to talk about your kneecaps. But when we talk about metaphysically and how it plays out in your life as far as a fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional aspect of what a kneecap will actually play out, it would play out as a form of stability, a form of a person having something to stand on, a person having a leg to stand on, a person having a foundation. You see what I'm saying? A person is constructing themselves in a point A to point B manner, taking step by step. This is why the knees is constructed and they bend in order for you to take step by step. So metaphysically, from a fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, this is how it would play out. So it'll start slowly but surely start manifesting in your life in ways of how you are seen, what you're known for, your status, and what ultimately can become your career or your popularity level. So that's what the 10th house represents. So when I'm finna act in the 10th house energy right now. Y'all motherfuckers don't know about these right now. These way harder than Yeezys. Nigga, fuck the Yeezys. Niggas, these way harder than motherfucking Yeezys. But look, right there. That's letting you know that that's a 10th house energy. So I'm being seen in a certain way. For an example, everybody kind of got an idea what they're known for, or how people see them. For an example, I'm known for astrology. I'm known for metaphysics on the internet. I'm known for being the little polyman. So that's what I'm known for. So for the most part, the 10th house, that's what's being broadcasted from me. So if people go on my social media, or if people are in their own circumference around their own people, places, and things, and talking about me, and use the same science for you. If people talking about you when you're not around, or the things you're known for, or how you're seen, 9 times out of 10, a person is kind of calculating your 10th house, what you're known for, how you're seen. So if you're seen in a negative light, people always broadcasting you in a negative light. You know what I'm saying? The way that you're broadcasted on certain people's social media pages or things of that nature, then you may need to go look towards what planets you have in your 10th house. Because if you got Pluto there, and before we get into that, I'm going to break down the 10th house, because it's going to get juicy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the 10th house energy. So I want to break down each planet. I don't want to skip the sun and go all the way to Pluto, because that's going to break the flow up. But for the most part, the 10th house is how you're seen, what you're known for. So, you know what I'm saying? The sign that's there. Also, when we talk about the houses is like, it's you, but it's not. So, for an example, this is what I mean by that. The house represents an area of life. So each house represents each area of life you're going to experience. Now, the sign that's in that house is going to be the energy you experience. The sign and the modality. That's how the energy is going to be constructed. Whether it's constructed in a cardinal, fixed, or immutable way. But the sign there is going to be the element. So that's going to tell you the kind of energy you're going to experience in that area of life. So reason why I brought this up is because of this. In the houses, you can even participate in that energy, or sometimes it's not even you participating in that energy. It may be an outside person, place, or thing that's bringing that energy signature to you. So it's like, regardless. For an example, the second house represents the things that you value, what you have to offer to the world. The things that you value could be a person, place, or thing, a gift, talent, or trait. You know what I'm saying? A job or resource, family, or whatever. These could be the thing, or your value systems in general. Your volume, your ability to use your volume and your voice. This is the second house, and it's also the house of where you plant seeds and build your self-esteem and what you have to offer to the world, whether it's a material or talent or a gift. That's the second house right there, right? Now, say you got Scorpio there, which will be an opposite sign. Scorpio don't like to be in the second house. Or whatever sign that you got there, right? This is not necessarily how you may act in that area of life, that sign, but it's just going to be the energy signature you always experiencing. So if you got the second house in, let's say, Gemini, then you experience your value systems. You experience what you have to offer to the world. The area of life where you plant seeds at is going to be the area of life that's dealing with communication, thinking in some type of way, in a mutable way, being mutable and being able to adapt to your own or other people's ways of thinking and communicating. So there's going to be a lot of analyzing, a lot of conversations, a lot of communicating, a lot of dealing with the hands, a lot of mobility in your life when it comes to you experiencing your values, the people, places, and things that you value. So you don't have to necessarily be a talkative person. You may have somebody in your life that you value, or there may be something that you do, or something, that a talent that you have to offer to the world that deals with Gemini like things. You know what I'm saying? Communicating, analyzing, curiosity, and stuff like that, and being informative. Or you may have somebody in your life that's bringing this energy in your life, but in some way, shape, or form, you're going to experience that Gemini energy signature when you're anytime you're dealing with your value systems, like I just explained, or what you have to offer to the world, or any person, place, or thing that you're planting seeds in, aka putting imagination and energy into. You see what I'm saying? Or dealing with your self-esteem. So now that we got that out the way, now let's actually break down each star. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we talk about a stellar event, stellar records, G Squad, Flight Boss, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, when we talk about motherfucking having a stellium, right? Now that's when you have a lot of stars in one house. Now correlate this house to a building and say this building is a play or a movie or a show or a concert. Now this the way what kind of concert is going to be is what stars are showing up, what stars is in the building at the moment. So that's going to be what kind of show it is. So what kind of stars is in that house is going to let you know what kind of show you having. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a bunch of masculine, malefic stars there, then you know what kind of show this is. You got a bunch of blissful, harmonious stars there, beneficial stars there, then you know what kind of show this is. If you got a kind of mixture and mingling of them, then you know what kind of show this is. It's a variety show. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you can break it down. So long as that you know each star and each planet, which they the same thing, you know what I'm saying? Then you would kind of know what kind of energy signatures you are experiencing within a house. And 9 times out of 10, if you got a stellium within a house, that means you have brought a whole lot of routine and pattern from the previous body you was just saying, the previous life, into this life. So for an example, say you got a stellium in the in the 5th house, right? So your 5th house is dealing with the way you express yourself, your creative mechanisms, the things that you creatively get into, the way you have fun and enjoy yourself, your 3 forms of entertainment, how you entertain, the things you choose to entertain, and the things that you are entertained by. You know what I'm saying? And it's the house of entertainment in general, and how you deal with children and happiness and expressiveness, and you know what I'm saying, exerting this expressiveness in some way, shape, or form. Now say you got a stellium in the 5th house, right? That means you have been stuck in that pattern in a previous life, and you was overdoing that, or you was doing that in a way that it was supposed to be done, but before you died, you was attached to that. So when you died and came here and took your first breath, and then your astrological snapshot took a picture of your influences, if me as an astrologer see you have a stellium as your astrological snapshot, that shows me that you just brought a whole bunch of shit from the past life here. So you got a lot of focus and energy on one specific area of life, and there would, in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, there will be no reason for you to choose to be born at that time as a spirit traveling through space and then coming out. You wouldn't even chose that state of being in those group alignments if you wasn't resonating in that energy. And then since you got so many of the same stars in the same energy, in the same space, that means that that's a familiar energy. So you're familiar with all that energy because you're paying attention to it now, and it's something that you have brought from the previous life, and you ain't detached from it. So you brought all that here, and in the 3rd dimension, it plays out as you having a stellium. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a stellium, you're having a lot of energy or a lot of things being paid attention to one area of life, right? Now, that's like a direct type of mind or a direct type of focus. So you're not leaving no room in yourself to see any other type of attributes or see any other kind of ways to do a goal or to do whatever you're trying to do, because you only see it being done in this way, and it end up becoming a passion because you only see yourself doing that thing, because it's a familiar energy. Now, that energy may play out in a different shape and form in this realm because the life you was previously in was aligned in a different way. So that energy signature may play it out in another different way, in another different form of a person, place, or thing, if it was even that way wherever you was at. Now, in this way, it's playing out in this way. But the way you could pick it up and be reminded like it's the same energy signature is being spiritually inclined and understanding the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. Therefore, you could be like, oh, okay, it looked different. It's a different person, place, or thing. It's coming at me in a different illusion and light based upon the realm of reality I'm in, but my spiritual nature will not let me forget that this is the same energy signature. So that reminds me that if I'm familiar with this, then it's something I have already experienced before. And this is reminding me of a trait that I may need to detach from. Therefore, I won't have to experience it again, even in this lifetime in a lighter form, to the point that it'll just play out in a circumstance or a situation or a mind thought or a feeling. You detach from it so you don't have to experience that dumbass shit again. You see what I'm saying? And therefore, when you die from here and go into the next life, it really won't be in your vessel in no way, shape, or form or in your reality. So, when we talk about having a stellium, that's what that means. So you need to look into your house lords to know how to rectify that, or your north and south node to find what you need to be doing, so you don't be wasting this lifetime on outdated energy that you have already experienced because you are already familiar with the energy because you got a stellium. And a lot of times when you have a stellium in that area of life or that sign, you end up being way more developed than everybody else trying to portray that energy that you're paying attention to. But here's the kicker right here, right? You end up seeing lousy people in that energy get way further ahead than you, and you're way more capable than them in that energy. But see, these are just reminders to let you know that this is an illusion, and you're trying to participate in something that's outdated, and your spirit don't want to go into that. Remind you, your spirit outweighs the motherfucking body. Your spirit is light, but when I say outweigh, I'm talking about from a fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional level. And what do I mean by that? I don't care what you lost in the fucking illusion. Your spirit gonna do what the fucking want to do. Your spirit gonna say what the fucking want to say. Your spirit gonna be in a state of being and want to be in. The hell with the fuck you think you're the what's in front of you with the fucking illusion and shit. The hell with that shit. Once you get enticed by something and start to indulge and think it's good for you, I don't care if it's the most nutritious shit in the world. You're supposed to do everything in moderation. But once you start to think doing things in moderation and you start to go overboard into that, you in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension playing with energies now. Now you're overindulging into moderation, which is a model that was created in the third dimension for people who don't go overboard in the third dimension. Once you take that model and apply it in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, you override your physical body and start to indulge spiritually. You see what I'm saying? So you need to understand, don't do that, because what'll happen is it'll play out in the third dimension as you kind of being spiritually lost a little bit. You see what I'm saying? Because you'll start conflating the spirit with the body. Because here's the thing. You'll start getting enticed by the physical things that's in front of you because you may have been taught or you may have been led to believe that it was good for you, no matter how good it is, no matter how good it's treating the body, no matter how good it's treating this fleshly fluid, this daughter of man, this fallen thing. I don't care how good. That's the illusion in general, right? And then your spirit ties its spiritual web to it, to the point that you start to think that is good for your spirit also. But here's what's going to happen. You're going to start to create the routine and the pattern, and you're going to be doing it so on and so on. I don't care if it's good for you or not. You're going to be doing it so on and so long, to the point that your spirit is going to create a circumstance to get you out of that shit. And then you think people fucking with you. You think people coming in your life creating road blockages. No, it's your spirit manifesting these people, places, and things in your life to throw you off a little bit, to remind you, motherfucker, we need to switch up. I don't give a fuck what you think is good. It's good. It's still an illusion. And you still have to remember that moderation is a model that was created for third dimensional attributes. And you don't need to apply that to us, aka us in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. Me as your spirit, motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? So what you get what I'm saying? You got to be a little free in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension and utilize everything in the third dimension as your tools, as your bitch, as your motherfucking servants. You see what I'm saying? So these motherfucking stars, these planets, the fucking air, these trees, everything is for you, for what you need to do with it. That's why it's going to keep growing. It's going to keep processing. And that's why you keep getting mind processes in your mind to take these things and create something with it. You see what I'm saying? This what dives us into our creative natures. When we can take the outside references that's grown for us, and we can take it and create our own creations with it. And then diving into those energy signatures that help us learn how to get into the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. Because the way life is right now is training you for the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. So if you think life is hard right now, if you think the city life is hard, if you think any type of fucking realm of reality in this fucking life is hard, then you got another motherfucking thing coming if your ass trying to go to the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. Because this is training you for that. A lot of y'all get stuck in y'all lower animalistic natures, and y'all get scared of the transformation in the new ages and us ascending. You get scared of that death process and run back towards when you was living like animals, when your spirit was actually in an animal. And then your ass gets scared when you in a human and getting all these brain processes and all these new informations and shit, and your motherfucking weak ass spirit can't handle it. So it run back to animal shit. You know what I'm saying? To live like a fucking animal to sustain this bitch ass world we fucking in right now. That some bitch ass motherfucking spirits came and created. And y'all motherfucking bitch ass motherfuckers keep worshiping and keep adding creations onto this motherfucker. And this shit weak as fuck. That's why you got motherfuckers waking up every day. It wouldn't be no such thing as a motherfucker waking up if it wasn't no fucking problem in the fucking first place. If this was fucking blissful heaven and every fucking thing that we need to do in the fucking first place, there wouldn't be no goddamn spirits and bodies down here complaining. Obviously, this is your spirit letting you know that motherfucker we done came down here and fucked up somewhere down the line. Shit. And the shit that y'all thinking we done fucked up on ain't it. So that's what y'all got to keep in y'all mind. The shit that y'all think we fucked up on ain't it. The people that y'all think y'all blaming ain't it. This the fucking race issues and all that shit, that's not it. Believe that. Those are not it. Those are the blinding illusions. Religions and all that, those are the illusions. Conscious communities and all that, those are the illusions. Those are the realities. That's why y'all think it's real. Where I'm Archangel Uriel, I'm going to tell you motherfucking realms of realities ain't real how y'all trying to say it's real. Anything could be real in your motherfucking mind if it's part of your reality. That's why what you say to me may not make sense, and what I say to you may not make sense. Because it's real to you. And what's real to me is real to me because it's part of my reality. It's part of your reality. So that already gives you a sense by default, if you use your goddamn common sense, how the fuck we creating this shit as a collective conscious. So ain't no fucking overall overturn or one person having all the goddamn answers. It's all of our answers together what makes one goddamn answer. And the moment we know how to bring all our questions together, we're going to have the one answer. The moment everybody else think they got the motherfucking answer, we all end up with just one goddamn question. I'm tired of us just having an overall one question. Let's have an overall one answer in this motherfucker. That's what my shit about. Now, this motherfucking video is about motherfucking planets in the 10th house. Now, planets in the 10th house is how you're seen, how you're known. So let's run it down. Okay, let's talk about the sun. The sun is your actions, the way you act and how you see things and what you're consciously aware of. So if you got the sun in the 10th house, this is how you're seen. This is what you're known for. Your motherfucking actions. So you better make sure your actions are seen in a positive way, because if it ain't, motherfuckers gonna be talking up and down about your ass and broadcasting you on their social media pages like you a goddamn idiot. So if you got the sun in the 10th house, you need to make sure your actions and the things you pay attention to is correlated to your actual natures in your life, based upon your other alignments and what you're actually doing in a positive way. Therefore, what's being broadcast and what you're going to be known for is some motherfucking shit. Some good shit. And the sun play like a flashlight. It play like a spotlight. So it's going to put a spotlight on that shit. So if your ass act on good common sense, good structure in your life, you working on a career and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You being seen in motherfucker, the sun in the 10th house going to help your ass. It's going to help your ass be noticed for all the motherfucking positive shit you doing. And you're going to be popular for it. And you're going to be successful. Now, if you got the moon in the 10th house, the moon is how you react and respond to the world that you are in. And it's your state of being, and it's who you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's how you relate and react to things. So when you got the moon in the 10th house, your career or what you're known for or how you're seen, your status is going to automatically cause reactions and responses from other people. So make sure that you're reacting and responding, and make sure you're trying to create something in your true state of being. Because motherfuckers who be trying to create businesses and shit like that ain't really them. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to fuck up. That's like a nigga trying to sell dope, but a nigga ain't really no hustler. Nigga get on the block block, nigga like me look at that nigga like, nigga, this ain't you, nigga. Get the fuck off the street before you get your ass killed. So for the most part, that's like what I'm trying to say with the moon in the 10th house. Make sure you in your true state of being. Therefore, when people start to react and respond to how you're seen or what you're known for or the shit that start to be broadcast about you, people will react and respond to it in a harmonious way, not no negative way to make them catch a bad vibe about you and start to throw out 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional aspects about you, aka start to try to change people's mind frames and how they feel about you based upon their ways of winging around words or their ways of constructing things based upon them liking you or not because of what's being seen from you out of your 10th house. Say you got Mercury in the 10th house. You're going to be known and seen for Mercury type things. And what is that? Thinking, communicating, analyzing, to the intellect, you know what I'm saying? Curiosity, information, being informative. So this is what you're going to be known for. So a lot of detectives, a lot of teachers, a lot of motherfucking magicians and shit like that, like tricksters and shit like that, musicians, that shit get broadcasted. So if you got Mercury in the 10th house, motherfucker, you could do a lot of shit with your mouthpiece or your mind or your ideas or your concepts and create a career out of that shit like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you need to keep that shit in mind. So if you're around people, places, and things, or you in a location that you live in, that you absorbed around people that's trying to construct your energy to do things in this way, aka say you just getting out of school, you got parents and shit like that. So they live their life a certain way, and you got family and relatives that agree with it, and friends and shit. So you kind of think it makes sense to do what they're telling you. They're saying no, don't try to use your intellect, don't try to use what you learn. Get this job first and make sure you're stabilized first. Then do that, because you have to make sure this, that, and third first, and boom, you end up taking way longer to get from point A to point B, when if you was just to listen to Archangel Uriel and step into your own spiritual natures, you'll be able to get from point A to point B a lot faster than anybody in your goddamn family or your friends that's giving you advice. Then you will be able to give them advice to be like, see, this is why you took so long to get from point A to point B, because all you had to do was get on YouTube like me and watch Dolo the Pilot Man, Archangel Uriel, and then mom, you wouldn't have, or dad, or grandpa, or uncle, you wouldn't have to, or auntie, you wouldn't have to fucking been in school for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So, use your motherfucking mind in that 10th house. Because I don't care if whatever you're doing perceived as dumb to everybody you're around. You may be in a location, in a neighborhood that's vortexing with a bunch of dumbass energies, with a bunch of dumbass spirits that's creating that shit. So you got to kind of clearly get in your own mind and be like, hold on, let me test this shit myself and let me fail for myself and let me see if this actually applies. 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna fail when you in that state of being. Believe that. When the universe and God see a motherfucker willing to do something and they ain't even afraid to die, you get what you wanted and some. Believe that. You get what you wanted and some in this motherfucker. Now, when we talk about let's talk about Venus. Now, Venus is going to bring support. So if you got Venus in the 10th house, it's going to bring a lot of support to your career, what you're known for, how you're seen. So for the most part, the more you play into that energy signature of loving, appreciating, of valuing, and willing to compromise with your goals, how you're seen, what you're known for, your status, what ultimately can become your career, Venus will always give you pleasure. Will always give you support. You know what I'm saying? Because when you got Venus in the 10th house, motherfuckers are quick to manifest in your life to tell you what you can't do. The motherfuckers are quick to be in your life to tell you, oh no, you overindulging into that. That ain't gonna never work. You need to stop. You need to stop loving that and do this first. No, believe that. Venus, and then it's gonna come in the shape and form of people that you think care about you. So when you catch the energy cloud that you catch from these motherfuckers, it's gonna make you think like, damn, this person is telling me this because they really care for me. So you really gonna dive into that vortex and portal and start playing out some attributes from a motherfucker who may be dumber than you. So you need to understand that when you got motherfucker Venus in the 10th house, you love and appreciate and value your career and what you doing. I don't give a fuck if you ain't making a cent or a penny out of it. You put your love and appreciation and value in it. I guarantee Venus give you all that pleasure. Guaranteed. Motherfucking Jupiter. Say you got Jupiter in the 10th house, right? You're going to be known for Jupiterian type things. So you're seen and known for your wisdom, your meanings, your reasoning. A lot of preachers got this placement. You know what I'm saying? I got this placement. I got Jupiter in the 9th goddamn house. You know what I'm saying? Well, I got Jupiter in the 9th house, but it's cusping the 9th and the 10th house, because my 10th house is exactly 6 degrees Taurus, and my Jupiter is 6 degrees Taurus. So it's right in, but so I get my dark sides of the ninth house sometimes, and then I get the sunny side of the ninth house, and then I get the dark side of the 10th house sometimes, and then I get the sunny side of the 10th house sometimes when it comes to my Jupiter energy. But that's another video. This video ain't about me. This video is just for anybody who got Jupiter in the 10th house. Your meanings, reasonings, wisdom, knowledge, broad philosophical points of views of things, your spiritual nature will be broadcasted. It will be seen. This is what you will be known for. So make sure you ain't stuck in no type of fixated religion. Like, even if you might be stuck into a family religion where that's y'all business, that will actually be a good thing in your life, because this is what you're seen for. This is what you're known for. You're seen for your religious aspect. So you will be favorable in your family. But if you ain't in no religious family or anything of that nature, just, you know what I'm saying, try not to cling on to any, and let's just not say religion, because that kind of mess people's spirits up who's already trapped and shit like that. Let's just say spiritual natures, or let's just say moral systems in general. Try not to cling on to any specific moral system when you got Jupiter in the 10th house, because you're going to be seen for that. And the moment somebody come around with another moral system, your shit going to be shot down. And then moral systems, people wrap their spiritual webs around moral systems. So when a moral system gets shot down, it's almost like your spirit go with it. And I hate for anybody in my soul group to get their spirit killed, or to get their spirit put down by somebody who come with a stronger moral system than with your spirit been clinging on to. You know what I'm saying? So Archangel Uriel, I'm here for my soul group. We ain't never got to worry about that shit. We ain't never got to worry about no new beings coming in, or no old beings coming in fucking with our shit. We are pure. What y'all see as gold or the emerald tablets here, my soul group, that's our spirits. I can't fuck with my motherfucking soul group. That's our fucking spirits, nigga. Shit. But for the most part, yeah, when you got Jupiter in the 10th house, that's how that shit play out. So make sure your moral systems is in the right place, and make sure your education level is actually educated and not no dumb education. And believe me, Jupiter is going to expand your 10th house. It's going to expand your career. It's going to expand your popularity. It's going to expand your diversity and what you're known for, how many credentials you can actually add to your life. Now, when we talk about motherfucking Mars in the 10th house. Now, Mars is exalted in the 10th house. So Mars loves to be here. So for the most part, you're going to be known and seen for your intent, willpower, passion, motivation, and desires. So make sure you ain't got no fucked up desires, no fucked up passions, because it will be broadcasted, and everybody will be uploading videos about that motherfucker, about your dumbass passions and your fucking dumbass desires and shit like that. So be aware of that too if you got Mars in the 10th house. But Mars is actually good in the 10th house, because for the most part, a person can take all their passions and desires and go for their goals, their desires, you know what I'm saying, their career. So that's what makes it good. But when you get lost in the 3D realms and get lost in trying to get a career, that's when things could get bad. And then as soon as you experience an obstacle or a situation like a road blockage due to the fact of a person, place, or thing, or a situation, then that negative of Mars, that negative attribute of Mars will play out to the point that the passion turns into aggression or anger. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be aware of that. Now, when we talk about Saturn loves to be here. Now, Saturn is home here. It gets to kick his feet up like I'm kicking my feet up right now, and it gets to chill at home. So it's authority, it's boss, it's manager. So for the most part, Saturn is going to bring how it's going to bring the reality of your career. It's going to bring how you see the reality of it, how you gain structure in your life. So that's what's going to be seen from you. That's what's going to be known for you, from you. That's what's going to be broadcasted. That's what's going to align people to you. How you see reality, how you gain structure in your life. Your ability to see boundaries and restrictions and limits, and your ability to get over boundaries and restrictions and limits. People hold that at high esteem. Like you probably, if you got Saturn in the 10th house, you probably could do little to nothing, and somebody look at you like you accomplished something, like you the shit. You know what I'm saying? You probably just got a flat tire and changed your own tire, and you got looked at as the world. Everybody calling everybody else like, man, you need to call this motherfucker to change your tire and shit like that. Cause you know what I'm saying? Like, you just see the reality of of how you're seen. You see the reality way quicker than other people see the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? So, then other people see the reality of how they're seen. You see the reality of how you seen way faster, and it manifests in situations like that. Shit, you probably a female. You probably just did a chick hair. You probably ain't even do it no better than the chick who in the next booth than you. But since you got Saturn in the 10th house, You the one getting all the recommendations. You the one everybody saying, yeah, she could do it kind of good, but I rather you go to her. Everybody be recommending everybody to you, and you won't do it no better than her. But you got Saturn in the 10th house, so you're going to be able to see the reality of it. Other than the girl who don't got Saturn in her 10th house, who do it just as good as you. You see what I'm saying? Um, Uranus. Uranus, you're going to be seen as unique and original in whatever you do. You're always going to be broadcasted as unique and original if you got Uranus in the 10th house. So keep that in mind too. You're always going to be seen as unique and original. Neptune. Or you're going to experience a lot of change, rebellion, and opposition. Or you may be the type of person who like to change, rebel, and oppose against other people's ways of gaining structure in their life or their career and things of that nature. Try not to get on the negative side of Uranus, but the positive of it is you're just going to experience unique and original careers or statuses, or you're going to be unique and original in whatever you get into in general, or how people broadcast you. Neptune, dreams, illusions, creativity, and imagination. That's what you're going to be seen for. Your dreams, illusions, creativity, and imagination. Now, here's the kicker. You got dreams, right? So now, when you got a dream, you have to make sure you align it. And what do I mean by aligning it? You have to make sure that your dream and imagination get played out in a positive way. Because when you dream and have an imagination, it can be looked at in two ways. It can be looked at as your ass being in a motherfucking illusion, or your ass having a lot of goddamn creativity. But you need dreams and imagination to have either one of them. So for the most part, keep that in line. Make sure that your dreams and imaginations ain't coming out like you in a goddamn illusion. Make sure it's coming out like your ass is creative. And as long as that you stay in that aspect, that's what you're going to be seen for. That's what you're going to be known for. That's what's going to be broadcasted, regardless to what you fucking doing. And then Pluto. Let's get to Pluto now. Because Pluto was calling me at the beginning of this video. It's like, talk about me first. Talk about me first. Ain't you so power and controlling? Goddamn, look at you. Fuck you. Fuck you, Pluto. But look, when we talk about Pluto, Pluto is all about transformation. So you're going to be seen for your transformative situations in your life. So things that may have been harsh or things that may have caused super excitements and super happiness. But no in between. It's just black and white when we talk about Pluto. So either super excitement or super letdowners and grudges and shit. But that's what's going to be broadcasted from you. Super transformative situations. That's what's going to be known. That's what's going to be seen. Now, for the most part, your power and control issues also. So you're going to either be able to take power and control over your career or how you're seen or what kind of light that people put you in, or you're going to be overwhelmed and be taken power and control over to the point that you can't even control how people see you. People putting you all in type of negative lights. You can't never wrap your finger around a career. You can't never gain power and control over your popularity level or what you're known for, and you kind of at loss on what you're known for. So you have to find it, because Pluto will put you deep somewhere underneath the sea and the ocean. Yes, as deep as the goddamn deep as the ocean. And motherfucker, once you go down there, you ain't got no goggles and shit. You can barely see and shit, and you just getting washed up by all these goddamn strong ass currents. So for the most part, you ain't got no directions. Which way to go? Which way to go? So you motherfucker, you ain't got no breath of fresh air. So you can't lighten up. So your ass is brooding. So you know what I'm saying? Damn, Pluto, man, Pluto, chill, Pluto, chill. Chill. But for the most part, you know, with Pluto in the 10th house, that's what shit to do. But if you could gain power and control over the shit, your ass would be alright. And that's the motherfucking influences that these motherfucking stars have when they in your goddamn 10th house. Flight bus, bitch, goddamn. Let's motherfucker succeed in this motherfucker soul group. Air.